What's up, everybody? I'm Tucker, and this week we're going to be talking about the big mid-season finales for the Flash and Arrow that happened this week. And also, I'm just going to do a quick side note here. It's next week's finals week. This is the last day of class. Everything's due and everything's happening all at once. School's all big and important and stuff. But I made a stupid decision. I started watching a new show. So I watched the first season of Orphan Black in like 24 hours. It's really good. Just check it out. Orphan Black's a cool show. I just started the second season, so I don't know how that is yet. But if it's like the first one, it's going to be awesome. So go watch that show too. It's really cool. So first, we're going to talk about the Flash one, because that came out before the Arrow one. Tuesday, Wednesday, CW, 7 o'clock. Mountain Time. Watch it. So this episode, when they first showed the trailer for it last week, I got super pumped just because I thought the trailer was really good. I was like, I want to see this episode. And it was good. It didn't disappoint. I liked most of what they did. I really want to know who the Reverse Flash is, because we were finally introduced to him. The man in the yellow suit, the name of the episode as well. The guy who killed Barry's mom. He and Barry, had a speed race through the city, and he's a lot better than the Flash is right now. He's way faster than he is, and so Barry couldn't beat him. And then Cisco's like trapped him in this bubble of like force field. And they're like, "Gotcha, bro." And they're like trying to figure out what he's trying to do, and he somehow breaks out. He gets Dr. Wells and starts beating the crap out of Dr. Wells in the force fields, and they have to turn the force field off, and then he can escape. This episode also gave a full introduction to Firestorm, who they had done for the end credits scene last episode, I believe. So they had Caitlin run into him and then get Cisco's help. They're like, "Oh man, Ronnie's alive. We gotta go find him." So they found him. He's Human Torchy. Firestorm's more than that, but right now he's just Human Torch dude. And so he lit on fire and he ran off. He's like, "Don't come to me. I'm not Ronnie." Blah blah blah. And they're like, "What's up with that?" And then at the end, when Flash and Reverse Flash were fighting, they're like, boom 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 boom. Reverse Flash is gonna beat him because he's better right now. Firestorm's like, kapow, fireball, hits Reverse Flash, and Reverse Flash runs away, and Ronnie's like, "Don't come after me," and then flies away. Fire, out. Fire people fly. This episode also had some really good, emotional moments in it. Barry had talks with both his real dad and Detective West, his sort of pseudo dad, who's been taking care of him since he was a kid. And both of his scenes with those guys, I thought, were really well done. It was real good. It was sweet. He and his dad shared a nice moment. Same with his, not dad, but dad-like character. I also had a scene with Iris where he was like, "I love you. Oh man, been since a kid." Just came out and said it all. And he was like, "Okay, peace." And then just left. And I was like, okay, cool, that's out in the open now. And then they didn't bring it up again at the Christmas time when they were putting the stuff, that star on the tree. That's what they were doing, putting a star on the tree. Then the end credits scene was Wells going into his special future room where he checks the future news all the time. Opens up this new door and then shocks it or something. And then the Reverse Flash suit appears there. And then he puts the thingy over it, and it seems to be charging it up or something. Not super clear on that. And so it makes it seem like, hey, he's Reverse Flash. However, I'm not convinced that he is. I'm sure he has something to do with the Reverse Flash, but I don't think that he himself is the Reverse Flash. Normally in the comics, Eddie, the blonde type of guy who's dating Iris, his character equivalent in the comics is oftentimes Reverse Flash from the future comes to wreck the Flash, make him a better hero. Sometimes what his goal is, be a good villain so that he can become a stronger hero. And they had a scene where Reverse Flash took out all the cops except for Eddie. And like stand in front of him and they like looked at each other for a second and he like ran off. And he was like, what is happening? That was really weird. So it's possible that Eddie and Wells in the future teamed up to make Reverse Flash, and then he goes to fight Barry. And Cisco also pointed out to Detective West that when Barry says he saw the man in lightning when his mom died, he said it was red and yellow were the colors. And Cisco pointed out that when Reverse Flash and the Flash were fighting, it had the same red and yellow colors because each one of them gives off one of the colors, and so together that's how they get the red and yellow. So that kind of points to that the Flash is going to be time traveling, and so he's going to go back, and that whirlwind that kills his mom, he's going to be there as little kid Barry and as Flash Barry fighting Reverse Flash. And it's going to be crazy. However they end up doing all the time travel stuff should be really interesting, because the writers know what they're doing, it seems. So it'll be fun to watch how that plays out. Then in the Arrow mid-season finale, we finally found out who the killer was, the person who killed Sarah. And it was Thea, Oliver's sister, who some people on the interwebs have been like, I think it's Thea, because none of these other people make sense. They were right, it was. Malcolm gave her this weird herb drug thing that makes you really susceptible to persuasion, and then you don't remember what you did. And it's like, hey, go kill Sarah. She was like, aight, and then shot her. So that's all solved. But conflict. The League of Assassins wanted the person who killed Sarah, or they were going to start killing people in Sarang City until they found the killer. And Oliver was like, that's not going to happen. You're not going to be killing people in my city. So they're trying to figure it out. He was like, it was Malcolm. There was no way it was Thea. And he learns it was. And he's like, crap. They're going to kill Thea if they find out. So I have to go stop him. So he goes, and he turns himself in to Ra's al Ghul, or Raish, however you want to say it. And he's like, I killed her. I'm the person who killed Sarah. Everyone there doesn't believe him. They're like, there's no way you killed Sarah. That doesn't make any sense. But you claim to do it, so, you know, you're taking responsibility. We gotta do it. So Oliver challenges them to a trial by combat. So he has to go fight Roz on a mountain. The whole episode is then intercut with him climbing up the mountain throughout. Before you know, that's what he's gonna go do. You see, it'll be a scene, and then him climbing. New scene. Oh, he's climbing a bit higher. Sort of deal. At the very end of the episode, there's like 7 minutes left. He finally gets to the top. And he's like, okay, and he's going to fight Roz. And it's going to be intense sword fights with one of the most dangerous people. So they fought. Oliver had 2 swords. Roz had none. It's just like boom, 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 boom. Then he takes one of his swords, fights him. Oliver's losing really bad. And then he has a comeback for a second where it looks like he's going to win. But then Roz is like, nope. Cuts him on the side. He's like, ah. And then he's like, good try. And stabs him in the chest. Just. And he's like, I've been stabbed. And then Roz is like, you did well. There's a whole little speech, you know, died like a warrior, blah, 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 in a different language. And then just kicks him off the cliff. So they killed the main character in Arrow. Oh no! Except it's a comic book show, so he's fine. Death means nothing in comic books. So even though this show was going for a more grounded look, like The Dark Knight, even with all the superpowers from Flash and stuff, they're mostly sticking to it being fairly grounded and, you know, believable world sort of stuff. But the Lazarus Pits are almost guaranteed to be in here to bring Oliver back, first off, and also because they hinted at it in the episode as well, because Roz said that he hadn't been challenged to a fight in 67 years, and obviously that man is not more than 67 years old. He would have to have already been at least like a kid when he got challenged. That puts him over 70 years old, and he's obviously not that old. So something has to happen, and it's the Lazarus Pit's pretty much guaranteed. That's what it's gonna be. So that's how I know that they're gonna use the Lazarus Pits to bring him back. They even hinted in the next episode that he's gonna be brought back to life, so he won't even be dead for that long. Like if they had not shown that preview and made it seem like he's coming back, it would have been better to actually think they killed off the main character. But they're gonna bring him back, and they're probably gonna use the Lazarus Pits, which is what Ra's al Ghul is known for. That's how he stays alive for centuries and centuries. Whenever he dies, put him in the Lazarus Pit, comes back up, he's all alive and well. So it shows someone walking up to him being all over his body that's fallen off the cliff. You don't see anything else of their legs or so. So I go, man, who could it be? But some people think that Tommy, who died in the first season, is actually alive because he got put into a Lazarus Pit. So possibly that's who it is. Or maybe it could be Malcolm. He's like, you cleared the debt, that's all I wanted. Here you go, now you're back alive. Who knows? Someone's gonna bring him back to life because he's the main character in a comic book TV show. He's not gonna stay dead. Also, I've just got to point out that the fight that Oliver had with Roz on top of the mountain, shirts off, one-on-one sword fight, was pretty much taken straight out of a Batman comic. Batman once did the same thing. No shirt. Still wore the cowl though. She's got his mask and, cape. But no shirt. With his pants on. Fighting Roz. On a mountain. In the snow. With a sword. So a lot of people draw parallels between Green Arrow in general, and especially his representation in the show, with Batman and Christopher Nolan's Dark Knight, going for the same sort of gritty, dark character. So I have to point that out. That scene was a Batman thing there. So if you're looking for similarities to draw between the characters, there's a big one for you, right there. I don't imagine they'd ever do a Batman TV show, just because he's such a big character. They'll just do movies every time because they'll make them the most money. So I don't know if we'd ever see this fight or any scene like it starring Batman. So I personally am fine with them using it in the Green Arrow show because they set it up all to make sense and work, and there's no other character who would really do it. So we got to see it and it was cool. Thought both episodes were strong. Mid-season finales did a good job kind of wrapping up the first half of the show and getting you ready for the second, which doesn't start again for over a month. January 20th is when the Flash comes back, so 21st will be Arrow. Gotta wait a while, which is unfortunate, but oh well. I have no doubt that the second half of the season come next year will be just as strong as this has been. Hopefully they throw in another crossover episode near the end or something. But who knows? Find out next year when Mark Hamill's on The Flash. It's gonna be crazy. If you guys watched the mid-season finales, let me know what you guys thought in the comments below. Or if you didn't watch it, you can go to thecw.com and they put almost all of the episodes online. I don't know how many they hold at a time, but they have at least the last 4 or 5 on the website, so you can get caught up if you need to. Go check them out. It's a good show. As always, be sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel, and then come back next week as well, when I'll be in the middle of finals. So I don't know how much of a video it'll be. That'll be something. Maybe it'll just be me being dead from finals, because finals are terrible. But I'm gonna do that. Probably not, just watch Open Black instead. But I'm gonna try. We'll see how it goes. I'll let you guys know next week. So see you all then.